Hey, it's Joe. This video is why you should give up your dream of becoming a real estate investor. There are some reasons that you should give up, and I think the main reason is you're not willing to do the work. I hate to be obvious here, but I think a lot of people miss this idea that it's going to take some work, that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, that you need to have some specific skills to be able to build your infrastructure. If you build your infrastructure, if you build your system, if you build the automation and the outsourcing, if you build your knowledge of what you need to do, and you structure it in a way that makes sense, if you structure it in the way that I've been talking about in these videos, then you'll be able to have a long-term, successful, reliable business. But if you don't put that work in, especially at the beginning, because that's where the majority of the work is going to happen. After that, your dollars per hour is going to go way up because your productivity will go way up. At the beginning, you're just trying to get through the learning process. But once you get good at it, then it becomes much, much easier, and the amount of work you have to do, it drops dramatically. But you have to put the time in and the guts in order to learn how to do that. You know, I equate learning how to talk on the phone to sellers to learning how to play jazz on the piano. You know, if you want to learn how to play jazz on the piano, you can study music theory all day long, and you can learn a lot about music theory. But when you try to sit down at a piano after reading a book, you're not going to be able to play. You got to practice. So you start practicing, and usually when you're trying to play jazz, you learn scales, you learn chords, you learn scales, and then you start to learn. Once you learn that, and you play those over and over, just so they become muscle memory, and then you learn how to play riffs. You design riffs, and you listen to riffs from other jazz musicians, and you learn those riffs, and you get those so that those are muscle memory, and then. And only then, once you've made all that muscle memory, then you can start combining those different riffs, chords, progressions, you know, those types of things. You can pull all that together and create something that sounds like jazz, that flows, that moves, that works. And that's what you want to be able to do when you're, you know, talking on the phone to a seller. You want to be able to solve their problem thinking on your feet. When they say this, you go here. When they say that, you go here. When they have this need, you give them this solution. If they have this need, you give them that solution. You can show them all their options. You can show you're credible. You can show that you have integrity. All those things come from your ability to talk. And that's going to be the most important part of this process. And if you're not willing to put that time in to do that, you should give up on your real estate dream right now. The other thing that will keep you from succeeding in this business, and the reason you should give up right now, is if your fear is so great that you can't move forward, that you can't take action. Fear will hold you back. You're afraid that you're going to get in trouble. You're afraid you're going to get sued. You're afraid you're going to go to jail. You're afraid you're going to lose your real estate license. You're afraid your broker is going to tell you that you shouldn't do this. You're afraid your wife or your husband is going to get upset with you for spending more money trying to do something that is your dream, but they've seen you fail at in the past because you didn't really put a real effort into it. Or you did put an effort into it, but you failed at it. And now you have to decide, am I going to try this again? I was there, believe me. I know how painful it is to fail, to lose, to have to start over again. And if you're not willing to do that, you won't succeed. So stop even trying if you're not going to do that. Learn to fail your way to success. That's what we're doing every day. Every day I have new failures because I try new stuff all the time. I'm very curious about what works and what doesn't work. And maybe if I try this, it can make my job a little bit easier. Or maybe if I did this, I could build a whole new wing of my business. I could try something new, or I could work in this town or this town, and I can move things around. That's an exciting business to have. And once you have enough money coming in that's consistent and is reliable, and you have enough money to live on, then it's just all games. It's all fun and games. I mean, it's just a matter of playing. And the more you play, the more you win. Even though you fail maybe 8 times out of 10, those 2 times that you succeeded, you're going to make more money than what you failed in if you measure your failures. If you set your failures up so that you can't lose too much money at any particular time. That's why we do zero down structures. That's why we do no down, no credit structures, so that you can't lose that much money. Anyway, don't start if you're not going to do the work. Good luck.